Greetings and welcome to your Oracle message for the day. I am Kat Morgan and I welcome you to this video, to this channel, and to this space. This is a timeless reading for the collective, so whenever and however you come across this video, it's the right time for you to be getting this message. And you may have been asking for clarification, guidance, confirmation, affirmation on something you're working through, working towards, working out of. However, wherever you are in your progress along your path, you're going to be getting a lot of messages from the universe because we're always connected and we're always getting downloads. Whether we're paying attention to them or not is the key. So we are always reminded to pay attention. And if you're new here to the channel, please feel welcome in this space. The only thing you're ever going to hear from me is encouragement and support and love, as we're all doing our best that we can to live our most authentic lives and be our most authentic selves. So if you are new here today, please feel welcome. I'm very happy that you are here. For returning friends, you guys are so very special to me personally, and obviously to the channel. So we've been pulling one card randomly every morning from our mega deck. You can look down in the description below if you don't have the information on how that was built and what was put into that. But today's card is pulled from the Enchanted Map Oracle deck by Colette Baron-Reid, and it's card number 23, the Golden Palace. And before we go in the book and look at what the reading says for us in the book, I always want to get all of the messages, energy transmissions that are coming to us directly from the image or images on the card, as well as the elements that are incorporated into it, because we know that artists don't put anything into their structures, their images, that are not intentional. So the first thing I will tell you is this picture came out much more yellow than the card that I'm actually holding onto. This is a golden palace, but it looks really golden the way that the camera picked this up. But it is more of a beige brown color on the card itself, and this is less of a feeling of sunrise and more of a feeling of sunset. This almost feels like two moons. We have a crescent moon obviously in the upper left hand corner, but there is something that does not feel at all like a sun coming up behind this building, this golden palace. And when we think of golden palaces, there's a lot of things that we can think of. We can think of our dreams, our visions, that we may be thinking about. You know, we have a dream house, we have a dream, something that involves a structure itself, a physical structure that we may have that feels golden, our golden egg project, basically. So it can represent that. But what I've noticed when I first looked at this card, when I first pulled it, is it's really overgrown, very much overgrown. This is not a palace that's getting good upkeep and maintenance. So if you have dreams that kind of are collecting dust, they're growing roots and turning into, it's becoming a new life form, like things in the refrigerator that have been left there too long. Very, very thick roots, very, very gnarly roots that are probably destroying the foundation of this structure itself. At one time, I feel like this palace was built on this pinnacle where it could see better. But now the vision is mostly obscured. These windows are completely or nearly completely covered up with the bushes. And while we understand that, you know, we just had a card about Gaia in a previous reading, the earth will always find a way to heal itself, just as our physical bodies find a way to heal themselves if we allow them to. And if we leave structures, if we leave things, entropy will take it down. So what are you building in your life? What do you have up on a pedestal that's not getting a lot of care, that's not getting a lot of maintenance and attention from you, that really should be? Are you kind of just buried in the morass of the mundane, as I call it, the day-to-day grind, paying bills, meeting obligations, being a responsible adult, taking care of business. Don't forget that every now and then you got to lift your head up off of that road where you're just constantly treading on this path. Look up and remember your visions, remember your dreams, remember those things, the golden palace. I also think of a golden palace in terms of our emotional, spiritual, mental bodies, how they all work with each other, and how if we're not taking care of them, they can kind of get overgrown with the 3D energy of materialism, of commercialism, competition, all of that stuff too. Tell me in the comments, feel free to tell me in the comments what are you getting from the images on this card. I notice 4 birds off to the left flying from behind the building. They're not coming anywhere near this building. They are just things that we can see off in the distance. Birds represent wisdom, represent information. They are the beings that can literally move between the earth, the planet itself, and the heavens above. As they fly through the air, they can touch all 4 elements successfully. They can cooperate with, except for fire. That's probably not a good thing to throw in there with birds, but they have their own little passions. So anyways, yes, feel free to leave any comments if you have anything that you got from this. It feels very old world. There's ferns in there and all sorts of stuff. This is the primordial earth energy, the primordial forest that will take over when men leave, when humans leave. When we stop destroying the planet, it'll go back to being its normal, non-structured, wild, and fully enmeshed in its own collective self. So we have the number 23. We know that reduces down to a 5. 2 plus 3 is 5. We have not had a 5 in a long time with a reading on this channel, so I was kind of excited to see that. Just for something new, just for something different. We know that the number 5 has very strong religious connotations across the planet, across all cultures. Just in general, we have 5 fingers on each hand, 5 toes on each foot. There's lots of 5s that we have. We have 5 senses that we count physically with different organs of our body, different operations. So lots of things going on with the number 5. The universal laws, 5 Bashar's 5 universal laws as well. Yeah, let's take a look in the book. There is always enough is our statement for the day. There is always enough. The Golden Palace card represents good fortune, ambitions fulfilled, wealth and prosperity. It may also indicate emotional fulfillment, as perhaps you're entering a time of happiness that's long overdue. The message here is that self-worth isn't measured by what you have, no matter how abundant your life is. Instead, it comes from what you are, how authentically you're living your life, and how much love you're willing to share. Granted, receiving this card does indicate material gain and a furthering of tangible rewards. But things come and go, and knowing your true value leads to even greater riches now. Share the wealth. Oh, I love that. That is awesome. There is always enough. Share the wealth. And right at this moment, you may not have a whole lot materially, financially, monetarily, that you would be able to donate a whole bunch of money to a whole bunch of causes. But you may have a little bit of time, and it may not be a lot of time. You may be, running between taking care of children, taking care of maybe elder parents, taking care of a job, taking care of church obligations. You're just running and running and running and running, and sometimes we forget that there is always enough. We can share the wealth of what we've got right now. We can share our love. We can share our attention. We can share our positive energy and our good wishes for people to have success in their own lives. When we are wishing for success with other people, it automatically gets attracted to us because we are focusing on attention for success for somebody else, so we don't have all the negative mind talk of I'm not worthy, I'm not smart enough, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not young enough, I'm not old enough, I'm not rich enough, I'm not tall enough, I'm not short enough, whatever. We'll always come up with reasons why we can't succeed. But we'll never tell that to anybody else. So if you're paying attention to wanting other people to be successful, you will automatically attract success to you. So share the wealth. You've got a whole bunch of things that are available that are always being refilled and renewed. Your talents, your skills, your attention, your love, your good wishes, your beneficence, okay? You forget how powerful you are. And when we are sending people good energy, it has no choice but to come back to us because we are opening our vessel, our physical selves, to that good energy in order to be that conduit. So there is no way possible. It's like trying to get in a river and stay dry. There is just, it's not going to happen. I don't care what you're wearing, you're going to get wet. At some point, you're going to get wet. And that's a good thing. We want to immerse ourselves, be bathing in the energy of success, of abundance, of prosperity for ourselves, as well as for those we love and those we take care of, those we are nurturing. So this feels very much like a perfect follow-up to the previous reading about Gaia, where we were being encouraged to be receptors of blessings, receptors of that nurturing energy. Now we are being encouraged to, it's like exhaling with the inhale. You can't do one without the other. You cannot receive without being a giver. You cannot be a giver without being a receiver. This card is the complement to that. There's always enough. Share the wealth. Things come and go, and knowing your true value, knowing your worth, knowing your talents. You've got talents. You've got desires. You've got skills. You are a very valuable person, and what you are doing is important. I tell you guys this all the time on the channel. So you're entering perhaps a time of happiness that is long overdue. Be open and accepting of that, and then allow it to flow through you to everybody else. So that's our reading for the day. I do hope that it resonated and blessed you. It's a little shorter than some of the ones recently, but you have everything you need to live that abundant life that you've been wanting all along. You simply have to be open and receptive to being that abundance conduit, both coming in and going out. There is always enough. There is always more than enough. You have always been more than just good enough. So I love you. You are awesome. Have the most amazing, fantastic day. Namaste and ciao for now.